I'm Zak, I'm the head chef here at Casamia restaurant. The restaurant is just all about flavour, it's all about fun, and it's all about fire. We also cook on binchatan and then wood, so everything just tastes amazing, everything's smoky, the whole kitchen's fucking covered in charcoal now because we're using it so much all the time.
The fire is the big thing. I mean, it seems to be that people are wanting to much more cook on real fire, a bit like going back to our roots of what what feels good, like cooking on real fire.
Yeah, man. We've almost come full circle now. Like, obviously, for me personally, I'm not really interested in water baths, in sous vide cooking, in fancy chefy techniques and stuff. Like, I want to stay away from the term chef even, because I think that what we're doing is so far against that. Like, we don't wear chef whites.
Right.
None of us do. That's a bit of a thing for me. I don't want to be wearing chef whites. We just wear shirts in the kitchen now. All I want to cook is food that I absolutely love. And I think that fully comes out in the food. So
you're just executing flavour, like you said.
Yeah.
And I suppose with the clothes, that's the fun thing. So it's those big 3 Fs, isn't it? It's like, and with the flavour side of things, if it's all about flavour, then really the format sort of follows from that, doesn't it? And well, I think, would you say fun is the first thing?
I mean, almost, yeah.
Because if it's not fun,
I always like to say now that I think it's almost more important in there for us to be enjoying ourselves first before these guys, because then it rubs off on them and we play loads of loud tunes all night. They're always changing. I've got a little laptop just around the corner, so I'm always doing the playlist and stuff like that.
So you're DJing and cooking?
Fun music, yeah. Yeah. I'd say what we're doing now is very unique. I don't think it's like many other kitchens in the UK. There's definitely 1 or 2 places that are probably starting to pop up doing stuff quite differently. But I just love to cook. Like, I've been cooking probably 10, 12 years or so professionally. But before that, I grew up cooking with my mum and my grandma, just cooking like amazing home food. And I used to get so excited about it.
I've eaten at both sides of the line, like what it used to be like and your new concept. And I must admit, I enjoyed both of them. But what's interesting about the new concept is that it feels like a night out.
Yeah.
You know, you've painted everything black, you've got very luxurious chairs, but there's tunes going. It's like a party that it's quite sort of... it's like a new night out where, it's 20 courses, like some people go, wow, that's like, so much food. You're kind of punctuating a night out, aren't you, really? So
definitely.
That fun element is really sort of something that I get.
That's a big thing for me, I think. I mean, how true it is, I don't know, but I've definitely read a few little articles here and there that say the younger generation now, like early to mid-20s, are going out clubbing less and they're going out to eat more. And I think what we're doing here is kind of a bit of both. Like, we've got the most amazing sound system, loud music, so
keep it banging.
Kind of forced to go with the beat of the service, and like it keeps all of us going. It keeps all of these guys going quite fast as well, because we like to serve everything fast because there is so many courses. But it's almost like bridging that line of like going out for a meal and going out to a club or going to a gig or something like that. I think that's exciting. I think that's definitely in the future, maybe in the next, I don't know, 3-5 years or so. I think that there will be much more restaurants in a similar style to that.
I think so. You're capturing the whole night out.
Yeah.
Previously people used to go out for pre-dinner drinks and then they used to go out clubbing afterwards, where it's like, I think the experience that you guys have got, and I think that a few people are trying to go for, it's not even trying to be greedy with the customer, but you've got more. If you take the whole night out, you've got the whole thing to play with. You've got the pre-dinner drinks, you've got the snacks, you've got the meal itself, then you've got more drinks, you could do a wine flight, and you've got like a whole night out. And if you think about what people are spending on a full night out with entertainment, it usually can be quite a lot of money. So if you look at a tasting menu as sometimes a bit expensive, but if you think of it the way of it's a whole night out, actually it comes in much better value as an experience.
If you're going to the theatre, you're always going to go out for dinner first and probably some drinks after. Whereas here, like, this is something new, I think, and this is a night out in itself, just coming for a bit of food.
It's a new thing, but it seems like a natural thing as well. of what you're doing with this whole night out concept? Do you think it's something to do with the way that British food culture is sort of maturing into something else, something compared to what it used to be, rather than borrowing other people's culture? You know, with the people who are starting to dine out now, they were sort of grew up with Britain being somewhere that actually had restaurants. Like, I'm a little bit older. When I was younger, there weren't hardly any restaurants outside of London, you know, especially not good ones. And you didn't go out for food, you went out for drinks. You know, people didn't, you know, when I was in my 20s, we didn't go out for food, we just went out on the drink. Whereas now, the people who are starting to come up in their 20s, they've grown up in this world where you go out for decent food. They might have not gone out to places like yours when they were younger, but they're sort of like graduating to the...
Still nice food.
So they've kind of got that background, so they don't want to go out and get hammered and go to the clubs and stuff. They want to have this experience here, perhaps.
I think what we're doing here, although, you know, we might have a curry on the menu, we might be using incredible Japanese and Asian produce throughout the entire menu. I think at its heart, the menu is just fully British, because we've got a tandoori quail dish which we're going to be doing up later. For me, that's a British curry. That's not an Indian curry, and it's really interesting to see people eating it as well, because it's a hugely like nostalgic thing for them, because it just reminds them like getting a takeout curry, and it's just like British cuisine for me is just an amalgamation of like all sorts of different people and cultures and flavours. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do here, like super nostalgic food, because that's what I grew up eating. A massive thing as well is produce. So for me, like, we try and use as much local produce as we can, but outside of that, if we can get something better from further afield, then we're always going to. But then on the other side of that, some of the stuff that you're giving us is absolutely amazing, and it's just impossible to get hold of like an equivalent in the UK. I basically want this place to just have Bristol stamped all over it, and I kind of think that's kind of working out for us so far. I really hope that it's coming across, and that's why like we've got fucking Wallace and Gromit all over the place.
I noticed that.
That's a new. Was that one? Did you have that when you were here? I don't remember.
I'm not sure, but I mean, I've been down to Bristol so many times, and like you know, years and years ago, we did the thing where you go on a hunt for the little grommets everywhere, and they're all painted different colours.
One day we'll try and get one in here.
There was a Shaun the Sheep. There was another one, but they're massive. Those things, The idea is that I think that, you know, what is British culture? I think people have got an idea that about, you know, what British culture is bowler hats and tweed and umbrellas and fish and chips. And I think, well, if you've ever grown up in England or Britain, you know that's nonsense. You know, it's kebabs, it's curries, it's fish and chips as well. Yeah, it's a mash of everything. I mean, what's more British than going out around the world and sort of finding things like spices and tea and bringing it back and building our own culture? And I suppose with your menu, that's kind of what you're doing. You're not trying to say, we're only going to put an Italian dish up because we're an Italian restaurant. No, being British is finding influence from all over the world, and like you're doing that with is Japanese ingredients. It's just taking those, what's best, and putting it on the plate, isn't it, really? Just while we're talking about the Japanese ingredients, so you were saying you've been cooking professionally for about 12 years, but cooking all your life. So in your professional career, when was there sort of eureka moment when you tried an ingredient, a Japanese ingredient, and can you tell me about that, and can you tell me what the ingredient was?
Before here, I've been here about a year now. Before that, I was at Enesia with Gareth in Wales, and he uses your produce massively. So I was involved in like the startup of when we used to use Kikkoman soy sauce, and then we got yours in, and it's incredible. So we switched over from using Kikkoman soy sauce for all of the seasoning and glazes and stuff like that, and then we got yours in, and we tried it, and it's almost incomparable. And that's the first time that I've ever tried a soy sauce of that quality, and to try it next to just a standard everyday Kikkoman that you can get down the supermarket, which I always thought was very good. And then to try that stuff, and it like blew it out of the park. That's something that sticks out for me. So
it's like taking these flavours that you know, and then same with the milk, I suppose you were talking about from Jersey. I mean, you can get milk anywhere, but it's about finding a craftsman. You know, we don't make any of the products. We've not got our own brand of anything. So we go out and we find people who love doing what they do, and like with the soy sauce you're talking about, Shibanuma, I mean, they've been doing it for 18 generations, and all the way through since the 1600s.
And you can't even compare the two.
Who can do that? From getting from a mass-produced product to something that's got all that love in there, you've got no choice but to go, right, well, I'm going to have to just accept that expertise and bring that into my food. And like you said, you can find that everything's just going to knock on a level.
It's definitely comparable, like what I'm doing and what you're doing. Because what I'm doing in the kitchen is trying to find suppliers of any ingredient who are as obsessed with their job, with their craft, than we are in the kitchen, if that makes sense. I think that's what you're doing basically with all of your other little suppliers.
It's finding passionate people who care. In fact, it's finding people who care. And then working with them to create something. So we're hunting for passionate people who do make products. You're hunting for passionate suppliers, and then I suppose the customer's hunting for passionate chefs. And it's that virtuous chain that puts that amazing experience on the plate. So speaking about putting amazing things on the plate, what are you making for us?
So I sort of vaguely mentioned it already. We're going to be doing a little fire roasted quail dish, and it's tandoori style.
Oh, okay.
So I've made the most incredible little tandoori marinade.
And this is obviously not a Japanese recipe, is it? Because it's a tandoori quail.
Yeah, not a Japanese recipe at all, but there's loads of Japanese products and seasonings in it.
Interesting.
So loads of amazing Indian spices. In there we've got cumin, coriander, fenugreek leaves, onion seeds, loads of ground black pepper, loads and loads of amazing spices. But then outside of that as well, we've got some fire roasted sweet red peppers, which kind of brings everything together. And then all of that is then seasoned with loads of your mirin. Okay. There's also some gochujang paste in there.
Oh, from Korea.
Exactly. And then it's right at the end, after everything's been marinating, we marinate the quails for about 5 days. Before that, they're brined to season them. So you're just trying to get as much of that marinade flavour into the quail. And then once they've finished marinating, we then take that curry paste, basically, and then season it into the sauce. The sauce at the end is finished with lots more of that gochujang, and then it's finished with a bit of soy sauce as well. So the stuff we've just been mentioning. So it's a bit of a crazy one, because it's definitely
been around the world and come back.
It's gone all over the place, the marinade, but it's so tasty.
Yeah, excellent. So it's all about flavour again, isn't it? And it's like finding all these products and just fitting that jigsaw puzzle together. I'm looking at the Escher painting over there, and I'm thinking, well, that shouldn't fit together, but it does. And so you're going to make 2 dishes for us, aren't you?
Yes.
So if you tell us a little bit about the second dish as well.
So the second one is a bowl of ramen, basically. So it's really special, but it's so simple. We're using some of your Hikari miso for the little ramen broth that we make. So
it's just a plain white miso, like nice and simple.
Yeah, loads of it into the broth though. So to make the broth, we've got some kolyor, which is basically the most amazing sheep. So the sheep that we use, we get the whole carcass in, and they're between 4 to 6 years old. So this is past the lamb, past the mutton, past the hogget. It's something else entirely. It's absolutely amazing, and we've got loads of it going throughout the menu because we do get the whole carcass in. So on the menu at the moment, I think there's 5 courses using the same sheep. We're doing stuff like using the sheep fat for some of the desserts and stuff. It's just going throughout, which is really cool. But to make the broth, we take basically loads of the bones, loads of the meat that we don't use elsewhere, and we super slowly roast them in the oven so they're nice and dry and golden brown, and they smell absolutely amazing. We then just infuse that into some water and bring it up to the boil and just leave it for a good couple of hours. So it's not like a traditional stock at all. We don't really do that at all here. Like, that's a little bit too chefy for me, like classic stocks and sauces. So we make like super dirty ramen broth. It's not clear, nothing. It's full of sheep fat, and then we'll pass that off and we'll essentially add katsuobushi and kombu. So we turn that sheep stock into a dashi, if that makes sense.
But it's still got that lovely, umptious, thick, grindy
from all the
ramen.
fat. We have to give it a waz with the hand blender every single time it goes to the table, because otherwise it just splits out. but when it is
because of all the fat and the flavours that are coming in,
it's got the most amazing texture.
Yeah. Wow.
And then it's just finished with loads of your miso, seasoned with a little bit of rice vinegar and a little bit of mirin as well, just to balance it out. And then we just make some incredible noodles. So we get some toasted rye flour. We get some rye flour that we then toast ourselves in the oven to give it even more like roasted, toasted flavour. And then we make just a super simple little noodle from that. We roll them to order, which is pretty special. So they're as fresh as possible. And then we just serve those fresh noodles cooked in a little kombu stock with loads of that broth. And then we've got part of the sheep's neck, which has been brined and then really slowly braised. It's then finished in a pan just to get it nice and caramelised. And then we've got a little Szechuan glaze going over the top of that. And a little sheeted nori as well, just for a little classic like ramen touch.
So so much goes into such a, what looks like a simple dish. Do you know what, maybe what I'm thinking of when you're talking about that dish? Especially when you think miso and ramen, it's like, yeah, fair enough, but then you're putting lamb in there, which obviously is a very British ingredient. Actually, miso ramen's like home is in northern Japan, in Hokkaido. And they eat a lot of lamb up there because of the Mongol influence from when Genghis Khan came over. So we don't get that much of it exported, especially to over here, but like there's quite a lot of lamb up in that world. So actually lamb and miso ramen are natural. So they're naturally partners. You just wouldn't, they wouldn't necessarily put them together, but they'd certainly be in the same town. And I think the people would really, you know, if we brought someone from Sapporo or something here and they tasted that, I'm sure it'd be hitting a few high notes.
That's
definitely
amazing.
Definitely. It makes a lot of sense when you think about it. So we got the ramen, the lamb miso ramen.
Sheep
miso
ramen.
My mistake. So we've got the sheep miso ramen. I mean, unfortunately, one thing is that if anyone's watching this, they won't be able to get is the amazing smell. Not just from the lamb, but from the whole place. So you can smell the barbecue smells, the sheep smell.
The wood on.
That's a big part of this experience.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because it's such an intimate experience out there. Obviously, we're a little bit round the corner on this table. But out there, it's such an intimate experience. Everyone's so close to the kitchen, you can see everything going on. You can see all of us plating up, but outside of that, you can see all of the cooking going on as well. So it's a huge part of it, all of the smells and like taste and flavours, as well as just seeing what's going on. But yeah, man.
But we've got these lovely fresh noodles. They've just been cut. They've just been made. They're rolled. We've got an amazing glaze on the stock from the mirins and things like that. And the lamb itself's got a lovely char on from cooking on the fire.
Little sticky Szechuan glaze on there.
I can't stop. I just want to get into it.
Let's do it, man. Cool. So yeah, the idea is like you use your chopsticks for the noodles and the sheep, and then just pick the bowl straight up and drink the broth really. Like, got to slurp the noodles, obviously.
Yep. Wow. It's so lammy, sheepy.
Yeah, man.
It's still unusual to say sheep.
So, yeah, it's a funny one.
So the sheep that's in here, I mean, the definition of lamb is what? Something up to maybe a year old or something like that?
Up to a year, really.
How old's this one?
This will be About 5 years, this particular one.
Okay.
So the breed is a Beltex, but as I was saying earlier, like our guy Matt Chatfield doesn't particularly stick to any breed in particular. He does though stick to the older sheeps. So this one I think is 5 years, but he does send us down anything from 4 to 6 years. So this is somewhere in the middle, this one, but it's so tasty.
I mean, it melts in your mouth.
Absolutely,
I mean, it's
yeah.
got that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to sort of go mad on talking about Japanese food all the time, but it's got that Wagyu level of fat and mouthfeel.
Yeah, man. It's just such an amazing texture, isn't it? And that comes from the brining to season it nicely, and then super slowly cooking it. So it's gone in at 72 degrees for about 3 days, but it is really just until it's cooked. So we always check it just before it comes out to see basically that the meat is starting to fall apart, just literally just by feel. As soon as it's starting to fall apart, once it then cools down, you can then literally just slide the bones out, and then we'll just cut it into, like we don't even really cut it into like perfect squares or anything like that. Me and Pat like to say, like, we let the meat do the talking. So rather than us working against the meat and trying to cut it into perfect shapes and sizes, we literally we cut it into whatever shape it becomes. So if you've got a little fattier piece on one side, you'll cut it slightly bigger, and then after it's then finished getting nice and crispy in the pan, you then kind of adjust it size-wise once it's then cooked. Because otherwise, like, for me, it kind of goes against what we're doing, just to cut everything the same shape and size. Like, I'm not really worried about that at all. Like I think you had a slightly bigger piece there than me.
Well, I did choose.
Yeah, man. But yeah, for me, it's about just kind of working with your product, and rather than working against it and cutting it into specific shapes and sizes, we just kind of forget about that, and we just let the meat do the talking and just kind of let it take over. And if one piece is bigger, one piece is smaller, like, I don't worry too much.
It's a supernatural product.
That's the most important thing, just the naturalness of everything.
And it's such an intense flavour. It's great that with a 20-course, when a 20-course experience, you kind of want those punches of flavour periodically through your night. Maybe you're having a drink and a chat and you're enjoying the evening, and then these fantastic little jewels keep dropping on your plate. I mean, even the little nori that you put on there has just got loads of taste in it as well. Yeah, it's super crispy.
Wicked texture to it.
Yeah.
And it's just that little like ramen nod.
Yeah.
I've never had a ramen this size. If you go to an amazing ramen joint and you had a bowl of ramen this size, there'd be something wrong.
I think if you had this ramen at that size, you'd be
too much.
You'd be a champion. Yeah, so I've smashed all the noodles there. So at this point, it's all about drinking the broth, isn't it?
Just get it all mixed up and then just drink straight from the bowl, innit?
I'm a big fan. So we've got the quail curry and the naan, the chicken curry and bread. But I mean, it looks great. It's got a beautiful shine on it. The smell of the aromatics is amazing. Yeah, just talk us through it one more time.
Okay, yeah. So to start with the sauce. So the sauce is kind of the entire dish almost, because it's a beautiful little tandoori marinade. So that starts off marinating the quails. So we use the crown for this part of the dish, but the legs and some of the other pieces of the carcass we break down and we roast off for the glaze going over the top. But in the marinade goes loads and loads of different spices, all secret ingredients.
Oh yeah, keep that one
Loads
to
of
yourself.
your stuff as well, like the gochujang, the mirin,
Yeah.
some soy sauce. Finish with some of that hikari miso to season it again.
Yeah, that's the white miso, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So those, the crowns of the quail are marinated for pretty much about 5 days minimum. So they take on loads of the flavour. They're then just slowly brought up in the oven just to almost temper the birds before they're thrown onto the super hot fire to get nice and crispy, like proper tandoori style. And then all that's on the plate right in front of us, some of that sauce, some of the quail breast that's been glazed, and then some crunchy puffed rice. So super simple. And then you've got this bad boy here. So this
looks so succulent.
Yeah, it looks absolutely amazing. I don't know even what this is anymore. Really, it's a sourdough flatbread. It's kind of leaning towards
flat, though, is it?
but it's not
It's
flat
so
at all.
puffed.
It looks absolutely amazing. Loads of air bubbles in there. There's some fermented grains in there as well, which we get from Taunton. So we've got an amazing guy, Fresh Flour, who supplies us with some insane flours and grains. So we fermented some of them. That's gone into the bread there. And then the actual flatbread, whether it's a flatbread, I don't know, that's been cooked in the rock box, so our little wood fire oven basically. So super charred and crispy. And then it's then just warmed through. Loads of roasted garlic butter on there, and then some beautiful fresh coriander that we get from about 10 miles away as well.
Yeah, you've got so much refined ingredients and techniques on there, but you're hooking into people's psyche with, you know, like chicken curry and garlic naan, aren't you? But you're like, so you're aware of that flavour.
Yeah.
Usually, most people like chicken curry, garlic naan, and then they try this and they go, hang on a minute, what am I messing about at? Why don't I? This is what I really want.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
So yeah, the idea is we'll start with this, and then like this is to mop up all the sauce.
Let's do it.
So that's amazing on its own, but the main thing is to mop up all of that juice that's there.
And we don't want to leave the gravy. Okay.
So yeah, the cook on the quail's lovely. Like, some people might look at this and think maybe it's a little bit pink, but for me, it's just the texture of it's absolutely insane.
And it's been cooked to such a low temperature for such a long time as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And the sauce, really fruity. Like, I mean, to me, apples and raisins and that sort of.
super fruity.
Again, fruit. I love a raisin in a curry sauce.
Yeah, man.
I know it's a bit retro, but I really like it. This has got that sort of nostalgia
Fresh
feel
banana
to it.
in there and stuff like that.
Right,
Like,
well,
that's what my mum used to make.
Really?
Yeah. She
Amazing.
just put raisins and bananas in her
Yeah,
curries.
man.
Yeah, so there's a reasonable amount of spice, but it's not going to blow your head off. It's definitely there, but I think the quail and obviously the naan bread as well, or the flatbread, just mellows it out a little. It's a little bit, but it's nothing super crazy. So yeah, like this isn't a particularly dainty dish. Like I certainly don't want anyone to be worried about picking this up with their hands and just digging into the sauce. Like,
Yeah.
it's a bit of a messy one really, but that's kind of what curry is, isn't it?
Eating with your hands has got it's like cooking on fire, isn't it? It's got that sort of
Yeah.
real feel. It's got a great crust on it.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? Yeah, that's just down to the oven that we cook it in.
Really?
So into the rock box, yeah. And then, so we do that just before service starts. So they're cooked fresh. And then just before the dish goes away, maybe like half an hour later, we'll just flash the naans back onto the actual, onto the binchatan charcoal. So you get even more like crispiness.
And you get the big air bubbles really soft inside, all the nice grains that are inside there, really.
Yeah, just like different variety and texture the grains give
And
you.
more
really.
character. Yeah, and that char again, really good. I mean, on its own, I took the first bite without the sauce, and on its own, you're all right, aren't you? But then the sauce is just
the
extra
sauce
treat.
and that glaze as well. Like,
I could eat a full meal of that.
yeah, man, I might have to come eat one day.